Stephy Steph, here we are on day 2.
We are on the Inca Trail.
Inca Trail.
Hiking with Bobby and Stephy Steph.
Day 2. We're on the backside of Dead Woman's Pass.
Thank God.
You've miraculously already been to the campsite and come back to find me.
I'm not going to lie, I got a lot of strange looks. And with the language barriers, the only thing that came out of their...
your hiking poles.
The only thing that came out of their mouth was virtuoso. And I go, oh yeah.
What does that mean?
Virtuous.
Oh, well, that's really nice. I really appreciate that. So one of the things that I was thinking and talking about on a prior episode was because I was slower, it gave me an opportunity to be by myself.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest struggles is to be by myself.
I enjoy the hike better when I am either just with one other person who I'm not competing with, or I'm by myself. There's a different enjoyment when you're competing with the person on the hike.
So is it fair to say that you have challenges with competition?
As do you, my friend.
Well, I'm leaving me out of this.
Well, I would say a lot of successful people have challenges turning it off.
Yeah, and I think athletically, you were a college runner, college athlete.
Yeah.
It's hard to kind of sort being a competitor.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This has been one of the hardest physical days of my life.
It hasn't been easy. You know, what actually prepared me the most for this, I had 4 hockey games on a Sunday. That was brutal. And I didn't want to do the third one, and I definitely didn't want to play in the fourth one. But something happened in the fourth game that reminded me of a place that I can go when it's really physically challenging, and you'll get through it. You always have 5% more in the tank.
I was happy that although this was the toughest physical day I've ever had.
Oh, yes.
What were you going to say?
I was going to comment. By the way, ultras, I have been, look at this, so freaking impressed with the grip.
They're pretty cool shoes. They're not sponsors for us.
They're grippy as all get out, because I've hiked in other shoes, and dang, I would absolutely recommend this specific style with the ankle support, because I have not, like, knock on wood, of course, but we were flying.
Maybe you may not want to say that.
We were flying down those rocks earlier.
I haven't sprained an ankle.
No, I didn't say that. I just the slip, not physical harm, but I have not had to deal with a shoe malfunction. How about that?
So you raced up the mountain and down the mountain is what I hear you say. Did you ever pause to look at the beauty?
Actually, I did stop our group to look at this, and it was, to be fair, it was a little cooler prior, but this is a different cool.
How would you describe?
Look at this.
For
so
our listeners, what you're seeing here.
Right here is how I would.
You can't say that. It's an audio. It's a podcast.
Right.
You can't say look right here. You gotta. It's like a book.
So for me, the clouds passing up over the mountains is kind of where it's at. And when you're hiking, and plenty of you may have hiked through the clouds before, but that's the cool thing. That's kind of that's the wonder. That's the body of wonder. That's the awe. Is you can almost touch the clouds. When we summited today, we had clouds sweep across our faces, which was kind of cool. And that was not expected, but pleasant surprise.
It's really cool right here how we have just some little wisps of clouds, and it's a valley with mountains on both sides.
Would you say a gulch?
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a lovely word.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the correct usage of it. It sounds right.
I really don't know if it's a gulch or a valley. It's probably a valley.
Put your comments in the comment section.
Yeah. Differentiate.
But, we've got these beautiful mountains on both sides.
It's cool to watch. What kind of clouds are those? Nimbus, Cirrus,
Oh gosh.
Columbus,
I call them
Cumulus.
I call them little wisps. It's really, they're not that big. It's just little wisps of clouds.
It's cool to be high enough where you just normally don't see these things that you're seeing. And really just take it all in.
What surprised you today?
I'm going to be honest, this might be a little bit of a snide comment, my physical fitness.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe my legs were there. It's hockey. They shouldn't have been there. And they were totally there.
This is physically brutal to spend 5 to 6 hours doing stairs straight up.
And I would not have been able to be, like, this was mentally and physically challenging. You had to get past the pain mentally, and you had to be okay not knowing the ending. Speaking of which, that's where we're at, those tents.
Oh.
I was debating telling you were way up there.
No, it still is in audio. So Steph is pointing off yonder. We can see it. It looks super close. Like, I looked at my watch at one point, and I'd done like 1.2 miles. And I'm like, it's taking me this long to do 1.2 miles.
Yeah, but at the same time,
the trail is
I think the rest of the time, and I say this kind of tongue-in-cheek, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but it is nice to go this pace because you actually see the sights. As we were racing down, we came across one of the hikers. She was over to the side. She goes, man, I just can't go slow enough to see it all. And we were like, yeah. She goes, did you see this and that? And we're like, no, we were just trying to avoid the rocks.
It's hard. You've got to concentrate. You know, we've done a couple podcast motorcycle diaries. I actually love our conversation on motorcycles because you kind of have a focused attention, obviously riding a motorcycle, but it gives unique conversations a chance to happen.
Yeah.
And I love that. And for me, quite frankly,
Buenas tardes, señor. Yeah.
Doing some podcasting or some audio clips for me was like journaling.
Yeah.
And kind of being alone with my thoughts. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate being alone. It's the biggest struggle.
Now I'm going to push back on you. Every morning, I think you find about 2 or 3 hours of the day to be alone with your thoughts.
I do like getting up early.
And I think you make a point of that because I think you need it. I think if you didn't have that morning time, I think it would just be a little bit, I think you might phrase that differently. But I would say
a really good point.
I would say you're someone who is intentional about being alone with their thoughts.
Ooh.
You have your journal to write that one down?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I got it in the backpack, but I've got poles in my hands, and I don't want to stop because I want to get to camp.
It's still a far ways off, by the way.
Yeah.
It's actually a very big tease. We're the last campsite, so you still have to hike down into the campsite.
Oh, that's brutal. What would your journal entry be today, based on day 2 of the Inca Trail?
First line, I still got it.
Wow. And you wonder why sometimes it's hard to relate to others. But go
second line, but it brings me so much joy because I won't always have it.
Yeah.
That's something that, and it takes like.
I'm not sure I ever had it.
You know, it takes a certain amount of like, fuck, it burns.
Don't say the F word.
Sorry, you can edit that out. But like,
no,
it really.
But I don't like editing.
Oh, okay, sorry. Like, but it really does take a certain amount of mental focus, and you've got to be able to go to a place in your head that not many people will go because they're healthy. And so it's just kind of funny.
Do you think it's unhealthy to do things like this?
No, I think it's just young. I think it's being young at heart. I think young people crave competition because they're trying to prove themselves still.
If you had to do it again next year,
yeah,
up to this point,
yeah,
would you still race?
Yeah, I probably still haven't gotten out of me.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh,
I've got Skittles for you and Gatorade if you want some.
I don't like Skittles.
Oh shit, really? Or sorry.
Stop! Why are you doing that? And you wonder why I get to control the microphone. I'm gonna have to.
So let's talk about control issues.
Yeah. Producer Bob. Yeah.
Well, I feel like you know, just man, I think we were talking about it a little bit earlier on this hike. We might want to let these guys pass so we can enjoy this.
Sure.
Yeah, so we were talking about this earlier about contentment, happiness, and competition and improvement. And I think it's hard to be. Cheers, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hi. You're getting there.
She's just talking to herself, and I'm just here trying to support that.
Wow, you're going to have to edit that out.
Yeah,
We're YouTubers.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not, right?
Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got no video, so
We got to
we're really
describe what we
bad.
see.
Yeah.
You don't need video.
Yeah.
Where
We're really
where are you
bad
guys from?
YouTubers.
Australia.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would.
right.
Yeah, you want to.
We got all the Australians
In England?
with our group.
Where they're teaching us all kinds of phrases.
Yeah,
Like
they are.
what?
Well, we can't say it because we're podcasting.
Oh, I'm
She's already
absolutely
sworn
happy.
twice. She's
We're not he-
literally sworn
Now look,
twice.
Bob, we're not here to fuck spiders.
No. I do love that
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. It's funny.
one. It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy your trip.
Yeah, we'll see y'all.
Travels.
Yeah.
Enjoy your YouTube and
Oh,
we'll see
yes.
you
Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate it.
You're a piece of work.
You go.
That is my favorite new
You go.
saying that I've learned.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
let's keep
I can't even replicate that expression, that
going.
exacerbation.
No.
Okay, can we remind the audience what I just did to come back and find you?
Oh yeah, virtuoso.
Virtuoso. Oh,
Exactly.
I said I'm the smartest dumb person ever.
Oh no, that's my line.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Did you invent it?
No.
Are you sure
Yes.
there's no other smart dumb people out there?
Oh, there's a lot of us.
You know, for me, it's hard. I think like if I felt just super like super cool and just very good about myself, I just wouldn't be a competitor, you know? And there's a part of me that worries that I would stop trying to improve and strive for things. But I think there has to be a happy medium there somewhere, because I don't think it's healthy to always push yourself to the max and the limits, always. I think there's a time and a place, and you know, you want to reserve that energy for a time that matters. And I think that's the message, and that's the maturity. Is it's not don't stop pushing yourself to the limit on things, but the mature person figures out when to do that.
And so what I'll do to make this kind of for the normal folk like myself.
Now hold on. Oh my gosh.
You're not normal.
Bob, you're not normal either. Bobby got up an hour before camp to read Epicurious and journal.
That sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, that sounds in
Look at the
4:15.
moss on this. We've got green moss, white
Because it's not
rock
a
moss.
video, there's
describing
moss
it.
that is growing on a rock to our left. There's a stream you might be able to hear. Watch your poles there, Bob. But yeah, I think there's something
Everyone's different.
right.
And that is okay.
You're
Figure
different.
out what works for you. And if it's working, it gives you peace and contentment and joy, helps you fulfill your why, then keep doing it.
So my recent book, Rethink, would challenge that statement and say, if who you are this year is very similar to who you were last year, then you probably haven't grown much.
I would agree with that.
But you can juxtapose that with another thing, such as, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
So which is the right way to go, or how do you make both of
that's
those
up,
true?
That's up to the individual. You and I both know lots of people who are content with staying stationary. Now, frankly, the hard part is, if you're standing still, the world's probably moving past you.
Yeah.
Things like change, technology, inflation. You know,
And maybe that's my
bury
point.
$100 in the backyard. In 2 years, it's not worth $100.
Maybe my point is, if it's working for you today, sure, it may still be working for you in a couple years, but the understanding is that it's not always going to work for you. Statistically speaking, it probably is going to have some change is probably
Right.
going to have to happen.
And I think overall,
Everything changes.
If you move through this world and you are not changing in a variety of ways constantly, then you're probably not interacting appropriately with your environment. You can keep walking. I was just trying to stay close there. you've got to adapt to your environment, or you can suffer.
I think
So,
suffering is necessary.
it's necessary.
Yeah.
It certainly is, and that
I
today
felt like
for
I
me-
suffered on the hike today.
today was a suffer fest.
Yeah, it was. It was embracing the suck.
Yep.
But you don't have to make it a suffer fest, by the way. You can climb this at a very reasonable pace, and it'll take you a lot longer. But you can do this and not have it be a suffer fest.
I don't think that's a true statement.
I think so.
I think it can be less of a suffer.
No, I think
don't
that's
care,
true.
I don't care how great a shape you're in.
I'm not talking about me.
Yeah. I
Hey,
don't
guys.
care how great other people
Yeah.
are in great shape.
Hi, hello.
Hola.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're just meeting some of our porters right now. They do this constantly.
Yes.
They carry heavy loads. I think they suffered today
Yeah.
for our benefit.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just the degree to which pick your own pace, ego, competitive nature, all that stuff comes into play.
I think it's about channeling.
I was really proud of myself with how I was able to kind of not push it to extremes.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
the good thing about not being in as great a shape as one would hope to be.
Is that something you've discovered in your
Those
50s?
are excuses, yeah.
Is that
Those
something you
are-
discovered in your
those are
50s?
excuses. Yeah.
It's tough to.
I didn't see a lot of people in their 50s.
So to Bob's,
60s.
well, to your credit, you still made it up and down the mountain quicker than a lot of 30-year-olds.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a hockey player.
Yeah, you are.
So, well, any other
So-
closing thoughts, Steph?
I would just say embrace change, embrace the struggle. It's always going to be there. It's just how do you handle it?
Yeah.
Today a great metaphor for life is we had no breaks. That's what made it so hard today, is you just went up. So you had stairs and then a smooth incline up. So you had to make a smooth incline up your break, and but you're still moving. And it was really tough to mentally get there and to tell your body this is my break, because the stairs are where the work happens. And so just things like that, similar to life, where you may not traditionally call what you're going through easy, but it might be easier than the last struggle. It might be your break.
Well, and I think each struggle that you get through gives you a win. I made a comment on an earlier solo podcast where I talked about the fact that sometimes one of the big blessings of getting older is that you have perspective because you've had more failures and more successes. And quite frankly, you're well aware of this too shall pass.
Yes.
So,
It's not going to last forever.
yeah.
We're in campsite number 9, guys. And so we're just getting into camp right now. And last final stairs. You want to go down the stairs there? Bob, any closing thoughts?
Well, I just thank people for joining us on this journey. I'd love to hear them in the comment section putting down what their journey is. I had talked previously a little bit about, I think we do a great job with discovery.
Yep.
And being inspired by other stories, and we've had people tell us we're an inspiration to them.
Yeah.
But we want to connect better. And part of that is you telling us what you're doing. Does anything we're talking about have an impact on you?
Yeah.
If it does, we want to hear about it.
Yeah. We want to hear your story, big or small.
That's right. Cool.
We did! Woo! Love it! Oh, wait a minute. Up top.